Yes, I'm
And we're
5,
gonna see if
4,
everything.
3, 2, 1. I'm John Miglash for the WDMA. We're going to be talking about mail today, but we're going to also be talking about some really fun stuff. Let me get my head lined up a little. Yeah, we got some great mail advice for you, but before we do, I saw this yesterday and I watched a 25-minute video on it, and I think you should all see it. So we're going to start with that. It's a little bit of fun. Here we go.
Order me an Uber and find me a good podcast to pass the time. Oh, and tell everybody that I might be late.
That was delicious. Check the fridge and order the ingredients to make that again tomorrow.
Create a route that works with my goals. Then, start the best playlist to keep me motivated.
Watch what I'm doing here. Process all my new photos today just like this.
Find us a nice restaurant near here, then get us there.
Take me to the best spot to catch the sunset, and lead me through a meditation.
Play my favorite song.
I'm on it.
Okay, so that's a commercial for Rabbit Tech and their little Rabbit device, which we'll show you in a minute. And so let's get over to the Rabbit. Oh, I gotta get rid of this. There's so many clicks that are required in life. So many apps, so many clicks. And so I watched a 25-minute video that Brian Romelli tweeted out yesterday, and he says he's going to be testing it, and I can't wait for that review from Brian because he is good at not only reviews but also at AI. He's building Barely AI, which actually is a large language piece of software that works with historical internet data, not real time. So you can control. I could actually use it to review all my own articles that I've written over the years, the 100 or 200 articles in my book and all that, and say, write articles in my style, and it would figure it out, I guess. That's what I've heard anyway. But so I watched this 25-minute video by the founder of Rabbit AI. I forget the name of the company. It's going to be Rabbit R1 is this device. Okay, and this is a review in Wired by Julian Chicato, looks like. And Jesse Liu is the CEO. And he got up and he talked about the challenge with apps and your phone. He said, you do the same thing every day on these apps, and it's just a whole bunch of, it doesn't do anything. It brings up the app and lets you do it all. And I was driving down here, driving over to the office this morning, and all of us, and I have this persistent check engine light that's also not persistent, and it may be because I use the regular unleaded, and I should be using the premium unleaded, but it doesn't change the gas mileage or anything, but it does run the engine a little cooler than the premium, I'm told, or vice versa, I forget. And so the sensors in the catalytic converter, I know you don't care about this, get thrown off, and I get this dumb check engine light. And I can drive. I've driven, just last week, I drove 250 miles or something without the check engine light coming on. So it's not an engine issue at all. And I reset it. I bring up an app, and I have a little gizmo that plugs into the car, and I just reset it. And I can go, like I said, 250 miles, 300 miles. I think we went almost 300 miles. And then it comes up again. I have to pull up the app. I have to do it again, right? What I want is an app that does something, not just an app that runs and I have to do all the work. And Jesse said, what we have here is a device that does things for you, right? And I watched him on this 25-minute video, which is on YouTube, and he said, I'd like to book a trip to London for myself, my wife, and my 2 kids, aged 12 and 14, or something like that. And I'd like you to get the airline tickets, and I'd like you to give me an itinerary. I'd like to try a variety of restaurants, not too high priced. And could you plan our days for a 2-week trip? And it said working on it, and then it came back with, I'll show you the itinerary or something. I'll send or email it to you or whatever. And he looked at it, he said, it looks a little too hard. Could you make it a more relaxed itinerary? And could you book my Uber from the airport to the hotels and, whatever. And it does all that stuff. Now, I have a book called Accidental Empires, and it talks about how Bill Gates frequently prevented other companies from introducing products that were ready to be introduced. But Bill got up and did demos of Microsoft's product that they were working on. And Bill apparently was an expert at choreographing demos and remembering every step. And even though they were programmed only to do a demo, not at all to build a product, he was basically doing a slideshow where he clicked here, there, and had to do it in exactly the right order. And he was able to do that. And several times, companies who had the product that he demoed, he didn't really demo, that he showed off, they had it ready to go, gave up because Microsoft was going to introduce it. So I don't put a lot of stock in a demo. But I got to tell you, this is my kind of device. Okay, for one thing, the camera turns itself up or down so that it can't see when it's not in use. Okay, there's a push to talk button on the side. Let's see, I've got another picture over here. It's got a push to talk button right there. Okay, and that means that the microphone isn't always listening for you. I don't like a microphone that's always on. I don't like a camera that's always on. I don't want my cell phone spying on me, and I believe it is. I talk about some things sometimes, and all of a sudden I get commercials. I get ads showing up for those products that I don't want. I was helping my daughter with her flight to somewhere from here to there. Now I'll get ads for flights, for flight assistance. Yeah, okay. I don't want that. If I wanted that, I'd go do it. We're going to talk about shopping in a minute. But so there's a button that you talk into, and that's when your microphone is working. The camera, you can tell when it's alive and when it's not. Here's the scroll device. It's not trying to, I guess there's a keyboard that can come up, but basically you just talk to it. I'd like a cell phone like this. A cell phone that actually fits in my hand. Okay, that's what I really want. And a cell phone that does things for me, not just lets me load it up with apps that can spy on me. And I don't know which apps are spying and which aren't. So anyway, I wanted to take just a second. I don't know if I can get this to work, because I probably can't, but let's just try. It probably won't even log me in over here on this device. But if it does, then I'm going to I want to thank Mike Gunderson for a really nice shout out yesterday. Mike gave, the response report is out. Okay. Mike, I don't know why. He just decided to say something really nice, and a bunch of other people chimed in, and here's what Mike had to say. See if we can see it. I don't think you can, but we'll try. We'll zoom in. I don't know that that's zooming in. There it is. Shout out to John Miglosh for his unmatched dedication to direct mail marketing. His daily videos are not only insightful, but also a goldmine for anyone looking to excel in this field. Keep up the fantastic work, John. Direct Mail Guru, hashtag Direct Mail Guru. What a nice thing to do. Thank you, Mike. Mike supports the WDMA as a corporate sponsor. Andrew Ettinger, I'm going to talk about today. He also does Direct Mail 2.0 also, and I can't list them all, but there's there's a wonderful group of people that are very, very encouraging, and I wanted to take a minute to just mention that. Okay, so now let's get back to the news, right? Get back to the news if I can find the news. There it is. Okay, so anyway, this is a wonderful article. I recommend the video, and I especially want to hear from Brian Romelli about the product itself when he gets a chance to beat it up, because that's the first level of real test, not the commercial or the CEO demo, although it was very persuasive. Okay, this is from Sarah Fletcher. I got it down. I was excited about this because the title, which printed on another page, was Shopping Fast and Slow, reminiscent of Daniel Kahneman's book Thinking Fast and Slow. And last time I talked about Sarah Fletcher's articles, she talked about how websites are optimized for fast, getting in and out fast, getting a seamless customer experience from getting on the website to getting out the checkout lane, if you will. And I pointed out that the way you shop for a new car or something aspirational like a sailboat, if I was going to buy a sailboat, I've thought about it. I've had sailboats, so I'm not going to buy one. They call it a hole in the water where you pour money. But if I were to want to buy a sailboat, I've simplified my life mainly by commoditizing almost anything I could want. I try to convince myself it's just wheels, or it's, whatever it is, it's just cleaning the dishes or something. Brian, I can't think of his last name, a comedian, he talks about trying to sell a refrigerator. This refrigerator here keeps everything cold, all your food, cold and fresh. This here has a tray that says eggs on it. No, and it's like that. But anyway, that was another thing that R1 did is the CEO pointed at the refrigerator and pointed the camera at the refrigerator and said, "What in here what could I make?" And it said something like, "You have 70% of the ingredients to make X," whatever it is. And the problem is the refrigerator wasn't arranged like my refrigerator, which has all stuff crammed in places. We need more than just a camera for that. We need a 3D imaging of every item or something like that. But anyway, that was impressive. I understand Samsung has a refrigerator like that, just what we need, right? A refrigerator that spies on us. Anyway, but Daniel's point, one of his best illustrations was that it's very hard to do math while you're live, right? Your brain consumes a lot of energy doing math, okay? And for me, shopping. Shopping takes energy in my brain. And your brain and your body try their best to use as little energy as possible. That's basically how we're wired. And so in that light, we do want to shop seamlessly. But online shopping, as Sarah points out, was probably designed by programmers who don't like to shop, who don't shop as a sport, as a livelihood, as an enjoyment. I don't do that. And my wife doesn't do it either, but she, out of frustration, has to shop online because whenever she goes to a retailer, like even Walgreens last night, didn't have what she wanted. Two things she wanted that they didn't have. And I've basically decided in my life, if the Piggly Wiggly doesn't have it, then I don't really need it. In catalogs, she says, a great deal of thought is put into how much space each product gets and where it goes. Yeah, it's not just thought, it's a lot of data too. And online, you get what you get, okay? The folks who designed shopping online weren't really shoppers at heart. They were programmers looking for efficiency and speed, reducing the number of clicks it takes to buy a product. But how do we actually make shopping online more fun? And the original web design for shopping was invented in 1957, she said. And I agree with her, right? It's not so easy, but, and the truth is sometimes you do want to shop fast, but other times you want to shop slow. Look at all the options. Imagine yourself wearing it, eating it, giving it, or just reveling in it. She gets to imagining buying an outfit for a date. I can't imagine that. It's never happened to me. I throw something on and I hope it isn't terrible. We went on a date last night and the movie theater said that the projector wasn't working for the movie we wanted, and we went to Wonka, and it actually was quite a bit of fun. I really liked it. So anyway, I want Deanne Campbell to chime in on this article. So you're going to have to find the article, Deanne. I alerted her to this earlier. Let's see if anybody's chatting with me today. No, I don't see it. But anyway, not so far. Everybody usually chats later, which is why you don't have to set your clock by this show. But she says that the shopping practices are definitely different depending on what you want. And that's the trouble. The trouble is, can you figure out a shopping app that is both flexible, entertaining, and dynamic? That's the question, right? Anyway, here's a map from Brett Lucas about top U-Haul destinations. And I wanted to show this just for two reasons. One, to illustrate how mapping can be really, really powerful. The other is how a little piece of data can be very powerful. This is the top 30 destination cities. This is where U-Haul is stuck with lots of trailers because people are moving from somewhere to there. So these are attractive destinations. And then U-Haul has to ship their little trailers back to wherever the people are wanting to move out of. Apparently you can get a U-Haul from one of these destinations to California really cheap because the little trailers are moving out of California very fast someplace else. What I thought was interesting is there's only 10 states. These 30 destinations are only in 10 states. And Tennessee has 4 of them. And North Carolina has 4 of them. That belt right there. Okay? Arizona has 3. Florida has 5. Florida, or 6, or 7 maybe. Florida has by far the most. And of course they have nice weather. Texas has 4. But you can see there are very few states represented. But in all of the Midwest, in all of New England and the Middle Eastern state or the Northeastern states, nothing. All the central, West Central, everything, nothing. Not even. It just shuts off for a second and then gets back up. Okay, here's an excellent article by Andrew Ettinger. Pay-per-click is a tool. It should never be your complete marketing strategy. If you've fallen down this trap, here's what you need to do. 1, take your existing customer list, analyze the data, plot it out, and Andrew does map it for you if you're interested. Filter the jobs by cost. Choose the routes that make the most sense for your business. In other words, don't take every job that's a $100 visit and nothing else. Find the ones where they needed a new furnace or were willing to buy one, whether they needed it or not. Okay? And then he says, begin sending mailers to your existing customer base. And you can also mail people around you saying you do a lot of work in this neighborhood, or people around those customers, because now you know where they are. And Every Door Direct can do it, but if you want to make a special offer to those prospective customers, I don't know if you should, because maybe they're right next door to your neighbors, and then word will get out that you're making special new customer offers. But clean furnace checkup in the fall, AC checkup in the spring, something like that. Andrew works with a lot of HVAC, and do it around the areas where you work. You could do that with Every Door Direct, which is a postal product, very inexpensive. You could also do it with a saturation mailing that gets almost exactly the same postal savings, and so you can suppress your customers and do a customer acquisition mailer specifically. If you don't know an HVAC contractor, and your furnace on a first name basis, and your furnace goes out, I do. I happen to know one. Went to high school with the guy. Dave, good guy. I know a plumber, right? Carl, good guy, super good. Those, you should. Everybody should. And so, but the big piece that Andrew left out, which I wish he wouldn't have, is how do you get out of the pay-per-click tool? How do you get out of Angie's List? A lot of times Andrew does talk about this. I'm just bothering him because he didn't today. And that is, stop doing it. Okay? And here's a trick. You don't have to stop forever. You don't have to turn it all off forever. I was talking with a large retailer, online and retail stores, a few retail stores, and he's spending $600,000 a month on pay-per-click, and doesn't seem to be getting boost anymore. And so my advice for him was, well, you don't have to stop it entirely to pay for mail. If you just turned it off 1 week each month, okay, that would give you $150,000 a month. And we could do a nice mailing, beautiful catalog, 100,000 pieces, right? A month for that. Just try that. And I can show you how to keep track. I can show you how to keep track on the holdout test. We can not mail everybody. We can see if your pay-per-click is driving traffic or if your mailer is driving traffic. There's a way to do it, okay, called holdout testing. It's very, very straightforward. It's not simple, but it's not that difficult either. It's fairly simple in concept. It's a little harder when you actually try and do it. But anyway, so what Andrew should have added to this was hold out your pay-per-click for 1 week a month to pay for your mailer, right? And it wouldn't be surprising that it could easily pay for a decent mailer, because you're probably spending, if you're a decent sized company, you're probably spending $30,000 or $40,000 a month on all of the different aggregators like Yelp and Angie's List and all that, and also pay-per-click. Take 1 week a month and use it to start your mailer. Start funding your mailing project. And Andrew will talk to somebody for $10,000 a month. I can tell you that. And I would too. Happy to help. Call John or email me, john@wdma.org. And if you want me to look over what you're doing, start by joining and supporting us financially. Have a great day. Like and share. Your friends will know you're smart. You share it with them. That's the point. I don't know if you get that. Bye-bye.